Hello and welcome to Flow with Shenae. This is your gentle beginner flow class today. This class is great for all levels, so we're going to start lying down on our back today. Get yourself comfortable on your mat. Shuffle your feet in nice and close towards your glutes. Feet are hip width apart. Let's begin by placing our hands on top of our ribs. Focusing in on our breath, a nice deep breath in through your nose, feeling your ribs expand. And then exhale out through the nose or mouth, feeling the ribs draw back down towards the hip bones. Deep breath in, feeling the ribs expand out to the front, the sides, the back. And then exhale, drawing the ribs back in. Another deep breath. In through the nose. And out through the nose or mouth. Let's take one more big belly breath. Now let's place the palms of our hands onto our hip bones, fingertips onto your pubic bone. You've created a little triangle shape with your hands, and we'll start to do a gentle pelvic rock. Inhale as you create a little bit of space between your lower back and the mat. As you exhale, you imprint your spine back down. Inhale, create a little bit of space. And then as you exhale, I want you to imprint your lower back down into the mat. Gentle little pelvic rock. As you exhale, start to think about a gentle lift to pelvic floor. And now slide the hands up slightly so your fingertips are towards your hips, your thumbs are at your rib cage. Now, as you exhale, I want you to feel as though you're bringing your fingertips and your thumb closer together. Inhale, lengthen, and then as you exhale, again, bringing your fingertips and your thumbs closer together, sliding the ribs down towards your hip bones. And now from here, we're going to place our arms down by our sides, have a natural curve in your lower back, and then float your right leg up into tabletop. Gently place it down. Left leg floats up into tabletop. Float it back down. We're just going to slowly take this movement. You're still thinking about the hip to rib connection that we just worked on. So again, feel as though you're trying to bring your hip bones and your ribs a little closer together. And focus in on your breath. Now let's start to pick up that pace a little more. So we're just going to do a gentle toe tap. So you're switching, one foot taps down and switch, switch. Again, keep focusing in on the breath. Now the further your feet go away from the body, the harder this is going to feel. So if you want more of a challenge, take your foot further down your mat. For another 4, 3, 2. Last one, left foot's going to go down, right leg into tabletop, reaching your arms to the ceiling. We take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, arms come down by our sides, lift into your abdominal curl. Inhale, lower back down, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Really work on lifting head, neck and shoulder blades up off the mat as we lift, and then control it on the way back down. Now the next time we lower down, lengthen your right leg long. And then as we lift into the ab curl, you pull it back into tabletop. Inhale to lengthen, reach the arms back a little more. Exhale, scoop back up into your ab curl. You're breathing everything down into the mat as you lift up. So I want you to really work on imprinting your spine, flattening your tummy, aiming to not let your abdominals dome out. Last 2. On this next one, holding your ab curl. Place the left hand behind the head and we're going to do little pulses with the right arm, like you're splashing a little puddle next to you. Pulsing, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and breathe out. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, holding still at the top, placing the right hand behind your head, and we're just going to extend the right leg out long and fold it back into tabletop. Lengthening and folding it back in. Aim to keep your shoulder blades lifting off the mat for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lie on down. Lower the head, place the arms back down by your sides, and we place your right foot down to the mat. Left leg comes up, then lower it down. We're back into that slow alternating leg lift. One leg coming up into tabletop at a time. When you're ready, start to pick up the pace. Switching in the air. Remember, the further your feet are away from the body, the harder this will feel on your core. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot down, left leg stays up. Reach your arms to the ceiling and let's begin our ab curl. Lifting and lowering back down. Exhale to come up. Inhale as you lower back down. You're feeling like you're trying to slide the ribs down towards your hip bones, so you want to try and make that gap smaller. Drawing your navel down in towards your spine. Let's begin to extend the leg long as you lower, and then we lift back into the ab curl, pulling it into tabletop. Reach your arms a little further back overhead now. Inhale to lengthen the body, lower the head down. Exhale to lift yourself back up. Really focus in on your breath and try not to hold it as things get tricky. Last one, let's stay lifted. Right hand supporting your head, and we're going to pulse our left arm this time. Little pulses, again like you're splashing that little puddle. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and breathe out. Last 3, 2, 1. Left hand supporting the head as well. Let's start to extend the left leg long and then fold it back in. Aim to keep your lower back planted heavy down on the mat. Abs scooping in tight. You are almost there. Keep it strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower yourself back down. Hands come by your sides. Pop your left foot back down onto your mat, making sure your feet are nice and close in towards your glutes and they're hip width apart. Deep breath in to prepare. And on your exhale, tuck your tailbone under and start to peel your spine up off your mat, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, stay at the top. And then exhale, roll and ripple your spine back down to the mat. Let's repeat. Tucking your tailbone under and rolling your spine up. Deep breath in and then roll back down, focusing on the articulation of your spine. At the top, we want to make sure we're rested on the shoulder blades. We're not straining into our neck, and you're sliding the ribs down the front of your body. We'll hold on your next one and just start a hinge of your hips, hinging halfway down and lifting back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. drilling your heels down into the mat. 4, 3, for 2, last 1, we lift and we stay. Holding at the top, wrap and squeeze your right glute as you float your left leg into table. And then place the left leg back down, squeeze into your left glute and float your right leg up. Placing it back down, we're taking our bridge march here. You're aiming to keep your pelvis nice and stable, so your hips aren't rocking from side to side. Try and stay centered on the mat. Really stabilizing into your single leg position. Now you can keep your arms rested down by your sides, or you can start to reach your arms to the ceiling for a bit more of a challenge on your stability. Still aiming to keep your hips really still, not swaying from side to side. Let's lift our left leg up and hold, and we're just going now for a toe tap. Left toes tap the mat and lift straight back up. We're stabilizing on our right glute. As you toe tap now, take your right arm back overhead and then reach everything to the ceiling. Back and then lift. 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Let's gently place the left foot down and stabilize on the left glute as you float right leg up now. Toe tap with your right toes down to the mat and lift. When you are ready, add in the opposite left arm reaching back. Then everything lifts up to the ceiling. Really squeeze into your left glute. Again, tuck your ribs in. You have 3, last 2, last 1, placing your foot back down to the mat and then roll your spine all the way back down. Let's take one final hip roll, tucking your tailbone. Roll the spine all the way up into your bridge position. When you get to the top, you're going to reach your arms back overhead. Take a really deep breath in. Feel the ribs expand. And then roll and ripple the spine back down all the way to your mat. And then you can circle your arms around to hug your knees in towards your chest. Take a gentle little massage of your lower back into the mat. Now let's roll on over to our right hand side, resting down on your bicep, creating a little bit of space underneath your waist, in between your waist and the mat. Folding the knees are stacked, feet are stacked, and we lift our top left leg in line with our hip. We're going to start to pull the knee back and then bringing the knee back forward in line with your hip. Wrapping and squeezing the glute as you pull back and then bringing your knee forward. Now here I want you to aim to keep that little gap between your waist and the mat. Keep your left hip stacked on top of your right hip. So try to keep the pelvis nice and stable here. Next time your knee comes out in front, lifting it up and then lowering and then pulling it back. So we come forward, we pulse the knee up and then pull it back. Forward with your pulse and then squeeze it back. Three, 2, last 1, we come back, we flex the foot, we're lifting the leg a little higher, externally rotating from your hip. Lifting the knee up towards the ceiling, turn the toes up, close it back in. Again, aim to keep your hips stacked, so try not to let the pelvis move around. Top hand can sit on the hip to help guide you there. Next time you lift, you extend the leg long, then fold it back in, knees kiss. Let's go again. Lift, extend, fold it back in, knees kiss. We're really wrapping and squeezing through the glute as you lengthen, fold, knees kiss. Stretching the leg nice and long. Last two. Let's extend the leg long and hold. You're turning your toes down to the ground and then up towards the ceiling. So we're just internally rotating from the hip and then that external rotation. Trying to keep your hips stacked as you turn in and out. Feeling your glute really squeeze here. 4, 3, 2, last one, neutral foot now, point your toe, fold it in, kick it out in front, flex your foot as you pull it back in line with the hip. Bend in, extend long, let's flex that foot as we pull it back. Like you're riding a bike here, aim to keep your foot in line with the hip or just slightly higher if you can. 4, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On your last one, pull it back and then take it out in front, just in front of the mat, and we're pulsing it up, up, lift, lift. You can do it. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on in. Well done, everyone. We are now going to prop ourselves up, coming into a kneeling position. Pop your right hand down to the mat and extend the left leg long. Reach our left arm to the ceiling and take it then overhead. We lift the leg and arm up and then lengthen and lower it back down. Reaching the arm up to the ceiling as you lift the leg, and then as you tap the mat, reach the arm back overhead. Lift and lower. Continue to slide the ribs down the front of your body, lifting through your glute. And keep really pressing away from the mat. So press out of your right shoulder. Now let's lift and stay, and we're doing little pulses up with the left leg. You can start to take your gaze up towards your top hand. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pop the foot down and reach the arm up overhead. Side stretch. Let's now circle the arm back and around to the mat and pivot yourself to face your mat. Left leg is still long. Let's begin to lift and lower back down. Keep the foot flexed. We're lifting and lowering. As you lift your leg, you're aiming to get your heel up in line with the hip, making sure you're really singeing in through the waist here. So pull your ribs in and away from your t-shirt or your crop. Next time you lift, and we're taking little pulses up. Let's lift, lift, pulsing, squeezing into your glute. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay lifted. Squeeze your heel in towards your glute and then lengthen the leg back out long. Flex your foot, pull the heel to glute, point your toe as you lengthen. Now you're aiming to keep your knee up in line with your hip here. Try to not let it drop, squeezing into the back of the leg, working through your glute and hamstring. Just notice if your hips aren't centered to your mat anymore. Try to square your hips up. 3, 2. Last one. We lengthen the leg out long. Now you're taking the opposite right arm out in front and we're holding our bird dog position. Really press out of the left shoulder, tighten through your waist. Stay really centered to your mat. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fold back in, bring the limbs back down to your mat. Reach your left arm up to the ceiling. Open rotation. And then thread the arm under and through, dropping your shoulder to the mat. Let's repeat. Inhale to reach up. Take your gaze with your thumb. Exhale as you thread. Let's hold the closed rotation and just reach your right arm back behind the body like you're trying to take hold of your left hip. And open that shoulder up towards the ceiling a little more. Bring the right arm back down to your mat and press yourself back up. We're lying down on our left side now. So let's just come on down to our side, resting on your left bicep. Finding your starting position with that little gap between your waist and the mat. Hips stacked, knees stacked. We lift the knee up and we start to take it back and then bring the knee forward in line with the hip. Pulling it back, wrapping and squeezing through your glute and then bringing it forward. Aim to keep your foot and knee in line with your hip or just an inch higher. Your top hand can stay rested on your hip just to help guide you. Sometimes it's really good to physically feel where your hip is sitting in space. Try not to let it move around. Beginning to add the pulse in. Next time we go forward, little pulse up, then pull back. Pulse and pull back. Three, 2, let's now come forward, close the knees in and now externally rotate, lifting the knee a little higher and then closing it back in. Knee up, toes up to the ceiling, then close it back in. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Really wrapping and squeezing through your glute. Try to keep shining that light underneath your waist. Let's lift and start to extend. Fold back in, knees kiss. Lift, lengthen the leg out, fold it in, and knees kiss. As you lengthen, really drive your heel out, squeeze into the glute. 3, 2, last one, extend out long, internal rotation, external rotation. Turn the toes down and lift them back up. Again, trying to keep our pelvis nice and stable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to neutral. Point your toe as you fold the knee in and extend it out in front of you. Flex your foot as you pull the leg back. Bend it in, lengthen out in front, and then pull it back. We're riding the bicycle once again. Keep lifting your foot and knee so it's in line with your hip, or if you can get it an inch higher, let's do it. 5, 4, 3, 2. We pull it back and now bring it out just in front of the mat. Little pulses up, up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then fold it in. Let's now prop ourselves up, coming up onto your knees. Left hand down to the mat, extend the right leg long. Let's begin to take the right arm up overhead. We reach the arm up to the ceiling as we lift the leg, and as you tap the toes down, reach the arm back overhead. Lifting out of our left shoulder. Again, core is connected, so we're tucking the ribs in, wrapping and squeezing through the glute as we lift. Four, 3, 2, last one, lift and stay. Little pulses up. Take your gaze up to the top hand if you feel stable. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reaching that arm up overhead, pop the foot down. Take that beautiful side stretch. Circle your arm back and around to the mat and pivot yourself to face the ground. Let's lift that leg up and then tap the toes down, flexing your foot, lift and lower. Notice if you sunk into your left hip, try to square your hips up to the mat, and you're really pressing away from the mat out of your shoulders. 4, 3, 2, let's lift and take our pulses up, little pulses. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, stay lifted. Squeeze the heel into your glute. Point your toe, lengthen the leg back out. Flex and pull it in. Point and lengthen. Really squeezing into the back of your leg and your glute. Five, 4, 3, 2. Last one. From here, lengthen it back out long. And we reach the opposite arm forward. Singeing in through your waist, right leg back, left arm forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Popping the limbs back down. Let's take our rotation stretch, reaching your right arm up to the ceiling. And then thread under and through. Drop your shoulder down to the mat. Inhale, reach up. Take your gaze with your thumb. Exhale as you thread. Hold this one. And let's now take our left hand back behind the body. Like you're trying to take hold of your right hip. And we're going to spiral our chest a little more up to the ceiling. So lift that shoulder up. And then place your hand back to the mat and press yourself on up, lying straight down onto your stomach now. Lying flat, place your hands stacked on top of one another and just drop your forehead down to your hands. Take an inhale as we lift the chest and head up. Keep your hands pressing down into the mat. Now I want you to think about pulling your belly in and away from the mat as you press your pelvis heavy. And then lower back down. Let's repeat. Inhale as we lift. Exhale as you lower. As you lift, think about squeezing into your glutes to press the pelvis down. and really draw your navel in and up away from the mat. So pull your abs away from the mat when you lift. You want to think about creating length through the spine. We don't want to feel a clunking into our lower back. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, lower. 4. 3. 2. Last one, we lift and stay. Holding up there as you open your arms out to a T and then fold the arms back in, lower back down. Let's repeat. We lift, open the arms to a T, fold them back in, lower yourself back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale, fold. Exhale, lower. Moving and flowing with the breath. 3. 2. 'Last one, you're going to take your arms out and hold, and we start to draw little circles with the arms now. About the size of a dinner plate, try to stay lifted through the chest, working into our spinal extensors. 4, 3, 2, last one, reverse the circles back the other way. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fold the arms back in and lower yourself back down. And then take a little moment. We're going again. We're going to open the arms back out to the T, lift the chest, and take those little circles. You're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's reverse it back the other way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then fold back in and lower back down. Bend your knees in, windscreen wiper your legs, so let your feet just go side to side here. Releasing out through your lumbar spine. Pop the hands down to the mat. Let's press ourselves back into a child's pose. So let your knees go, mat width apart, sitting back to your heels, reaching the arms forward. Taking a couple of breaths here. Feeling your hips draw down towards the heels. And then we come up into a 4-point kneel position for a cat stretch. So knees under hips, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, take your gaze forward and drop your belly down. Exhale, rounding through your spine as you look to your pelvis. Inhale, take the gaze forward. Exhale, rounding. Really press away from the mat, round through the upper back. Bringing your chin towards your chest and really release to the back of the neck. Let your head hang heavy. One more in each direction. And now tuck your toes under and send your hips up into a downward facing dog. Give your heels a pedal out, letting the hips gently sway from side to side, feeling that nice deep release through the back body. Really grounding through the palms of the hands, pressing away from the mat. Begin to drop both heels down and soften your knees. We'll walk our hands back in towards our feet, hanging heavy for a little moment. Give your head a little shake and nod, feeling that decompression through your spine. And now start to slowly stack your spine bone by bone. We unravel, coming all the way up to standing. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Interlock your fingers and press the palms up. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, relax them down. Let's do that again one more time. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, pull the shoulders down, open the arms. We are all done today. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you next time.